How are we doing today, guys? My name is Ben, aka Dimmy Dog, and today I will be officially starting with my RWBY theories. Now, this is my first one, so do go easy on me, but if you guys could do all the liking, commenting, and subscribing to let YouTube know that I am creating content, that would be fantastic. Also, if you'd like to join my Discord, either my personal one or the RWBY Reactions Discord, which I have created for the community, then the links will be in the description below. But as for this specific theory, I do not recommend you watch this until you have at least caught up to Volume 8, Chapter 7, as I will be going into very spoiler-heavy things. But enough of that. Enjoy the video. So Weiss Schnee, now the former heiress to the Schnee Dust Company. As a Schnee, she has quite the unique set of abilities attached to her semblance. While most semblances are unique to each person, the Schnees have something very special to their name besides the largest dust distribution company in all of Remnant. The Schnees have what is known as a hereditary semblance. This means that the semblance is passed down through the bloodline rather than developing a completely unique one of their own. And specifically not Jacques, as he married into the name, so, you know, no cool power for him. Jerk. But also, with each Schnee that is able to grow and evolve their semblance, they can pass on what they've learned to other Schnees and grow together. We've seen this with Winter and Weiss in Volume 3, Chapter 4, where they're having some bonding time over some croissants. Their conversation comes to a point where Weiss is bragging about her abilities, and Winter asks her about her summoning. This brings a new part of her semblance that we hadn't really seen yet outside of Winter's skirmish with Crow, where she summoned a large flock of baby Nevermore. She goes on to explain that Schnees have been able to do this for generations. Now, that is not a very good description of time, nor the amount of generations that is, but I don't think that's important, nor do I necessarily think it ever will be. During her brief training session with Weiss, Winter said this: "Now think to your fallen foes, the ones that forced you to push yourself past who you were and become who you are now. Think of them and watch as they come to your side." Now, there are two ways that I can think of interpreting this. First, simply just the foes that they've defeated. Or second, foes that they have defeated that have forced them to grow as a person. I've always personally assumed that the requirement was just fallen foes, as I cannot think of a way that Winter killing a bunch of baby Nevermore would help her grow as a character. I mean, Blake did that in Volume 2, and nothing happened for her, but either way, we learn that Weiss is capable of summoning, even if she was struggling at this point of the story. So far, Weiss is able to summon 3 different things. So the first foe that she's able to summon is the Armagigas, which she defeated in the White Trailer. The second would be the Borbatusk, which she killed in Volume 1. And finally is the Queen Lancer, which she kills in Volume 5. And as of Volume 8, Chapter 3, these are the only ones that she has summoned, even if she favors the Armagigas over all the other ones. But this is where I believe the Armagigas is going to take a seat on the bench, as the newest recruit will surely dominate over all the other choices. I'm talking about the Hound. Now, the fascinating Grimm, known as the Hound, was added to the show at the very end of Volume 8, Chapter 1, but was fully introduced in Chapter 2. The Hound is a specialty Grimm that is able to follow unique orders specifically given by Salem herself, and its first task was to retrieve Oscar/Ozma so that she could use the lamp that Cinder, Neo, had retrieved. Now, the Hound is able to do things that other Grimm are simply not capable of. First, it can stalk its prey and wait for the right time to strike. This is shown in Chapter 2, where it can be seen 3 times prior to its actual engagement on the Yang squad. The first is at the bridge at timestamp 504. The second is on the water tower behind Oscar at timestamp 740. And the third is running across the bridge at 1323, simply 1 minute prior to its actual engagement at 1423. Now, it's also able to attack without killing being the focus, and allowing that focus to be channeled into breaking aura, just like it was shown on Oscar. Now, it's also able to morph its body into what it needs based on the situation. When it needed to pick up Oscar, it grew thumbs. When it needed to stand on 2 legs, it created extra joints, allowing those other 2 arms to be used for other things, such as becoming extremely stretchy, if that's what you would call it. And it was also able to grow wings and fly away. But honestly, my personal scariest thing were the thumbs, but other than that, the ability to reverse it all and go back to its base form was truly scary. Now, other than its stalking capabilities, it has other acts of intelligence. It was able to use Oscar as a shield. It called for other Grimm to assist it while it was retreating. And it was able to hold Oscar still. So Hazel and Salem could talk. I mean, it has only ever said the word no 1 time, but you know, no other Grimm has said anything, so that's miles ahead. But I have a theory of what the Hound is, but we'll save that for another day. Now, we may not know the full power of this Grimm or its origin, other than it being an experiment for Salem, but we do know that it has more intelligence than any other Grimm has ever shown, and as well as a very powerful body to go with it. We've yet to see this Grimm go on the offensive, other than breaking Oscar's aura, but that was it. The Hound was on the retreat from that point, and it was clear that its only objective was to retrieve Oscar. But Salem, in the most recent chapter, Chapter 7, has changed the game for the Hound and has issued a brand new task for it. And Cinder is also assigned the same task, but slightly different because she's not the Hound. So Cinder is to go find Watts, who will lead her to Penny, while the Hound may get to her first. And if the Hound gets to her first, Salem states that Cinder will finally have the Winter Maiden's powers, and she will have the staff. Now, we can take this as the Hound will be able to somehow retrieve Penny so that Cinder will be able to take the power from Penny herself. Now, I do believe that the Hound will locate Penny first at the Schnee Manor, but will not be able to engage it directly. Since Weiss is at the manor with everyone else, and thanks to a sneak peek given to us by Rooster Teeth, we now know that there's a generator that they have to get to, and this will ultimately set up a new area. This could be a large area that is similar to the one in the White trailer where Weiss fought the Armageddons, or even the exact same room, to be honest. Now, I do think that would be a great callback for Rooster Teeth, but they can do whatever they want. Now, I don't know how exactly the battle will go, or who will be there helping her. We may even get her mother Willow, who we don't even know is capable of fighting, or if she has any knowledge of the art itself. But after an epic showdown, I believe that Weiss will slay the Hound, thus meeting the condition of a summon. And this is where I believe that the Hound will become the new summon for Weiss Schnee.